Blizzard's Overwatch 2 was supposed to be this big, transformative sequel that would promise a dedicated campaign or PvE mode along with a revamped multiplayer experience. But what we ended up with Overwatch 2 was Overwatch 1.5. And this was kind of like a running joke for some time, where it's like, okay, fine, maybe the PvE is going to come out a bit later. They need a little bit more time. Fine. Players and fans were patient until the developers decided, you know what, we're going to completely scrap PvE. It's a lot more than we could chew, and it's not going to happen. I think that was the turning point. That was the breaking point for a lot of people who felt that Blizzard betrayed them. They betrayed their trust and their loyalty and have been waiting for so long to see one of their favorite games get the rightful treatment that it deserves, And you have to understand, Overwatch was the hero shooter of the genre. If anything, it propelled and inspired other hero shooters to be out there. One that I know a lot of people are aware of, Marvel Rivals. This, when it came out with a bang. And I definitely think that Marvel Rivals left a bit of a shakeup at Blizzard, realizing, okay, this is no regular hero shooter. This could be the hero shooter that could ultimately topple our dominance from the genre. And so now we're starting to see Blizzard make a shift to Overwatch, and it's gonna actually have a major transformation in terms of what the game is gonna be like, as apparently they are moving away from a more conservative or rigid design and embracing more player agency, creativity, and chaos. Because historically, we've known that the Overwatch team has been very cautious about making dramatic changes to the formula. So much so they kind of got a little bit comfortable with that. But they even realized that the multiplayer started to feel stagnant. I felt it by last year, to be honest. And I was a new player into Overwatch. I didn't play Overwatch 1. I jumped into Overwatch 2 when it was free to play. And I'll be honest, 6 months in, I stopped. I couldn't do it anymore. And no matter what efforts they did, like collaborations for that My Hero Academia skin and the Transformers stuff, it has made many players feel the game lacks something fresh to really justify, a sequel to begin with. And it was like this for the longest time. And now they have, I think Blizzard has understood that simply adding new heroes and adjusting game balance was not enough to revitalize the player base, especially with the added pressure of other competitive games and franchises like Marvel Rivals. I'm telling you, Marvel Rivals did something here. They made Blizzard realize, oh my God, there's actual competition now. We could lose players. Our game could lose relevancy. And so now they've introduced something called Stadium Mode. And this is going to stand out as a significant departure from the game's traditional playstyle. It adds layers of unpredictability where players can grow and modify their heroes over multiple rounds through a skill tree, offering a greater level of customization and strategic depth. This kind of reminds me of a few MOBA games that kind of do this, where you're slowly gaining XP and you slowly unlock, abilities, and you grow progressively stronger as the game keeps on going. I'll be honest, the last game that kind of had this concept in place was Supervive. Supervive has something similar to it. Supervive is like a MOBA / battle royale, but it has that same idea of like you're leveling up as the match goes and you're acquiring skills. But this one seems to have a lot of customization in terms of what you can do with your skill tree. And so that means every character and their abilities are going to be completely different. Wow. Nice shakeup, but it's taken so long for it to finally come out. And I just wonder if this is too little too late in a way, to revitalize a game like Overwatch 2. There's even an introduction of a third person perspective, which hopefully will enhance. It will further enhance players who really want to appreciate more of that character in action type of display, which Marvel Rivals has. Oh my God! This also leans into something called the hero fantasy by taking iconic characters like Bastion, Cassidy, Reaper, and pushing their abilities to do a lot more absurd and fantastical things, such as Reaper now flying, Cassidy becoming a master sharpshooter. It's gonna create a lot of chaos, but chaotic fun is perhaps what really matters here. So kudos to the team and for introducing Stadium mode. And apparently they're also introducing something called the perk system, which I'm sure if anybody's played any shooter games are aware of this. It allows heroes to gain upgrades during those matches, and those perks alter how a character performs, adding a layer of choice and excitement for the players as well. So again, major transformation coming to Overwatch 2, but I worry maybe it's too little too late at the same time. And another aspect is, as much as it is chaotically fun, it makes you wonder how much of this is really going to be balanced as well. I think in the beginning it might not be all that balanced, and that's totally fine. But sooner or later, Blizzard is going to have to come in there and tweak it up a bit. There's also loot boxes coming back to Overwatch 2. Now, this has been something that has been requested for so long, especially because everything got locked up on, the battle pass and $20 skins on the shop. And it just felt, for all the amount of time that people were dedicating to a game like this, they weren't feeling like they were getting just enough rewards, so to speak. It just felt more of a grind. And where the controversy of loot boxes was a thing a couple years back, people are like, I'd rather have loot boxes than trying to grind out a battle pass that's going to wrap up in 90 days. And it's so ironic we've gone full circle with this stuff. But apparently this is a system that, again, aims to strike a balance between offering rewarding progression without falling into the predatory practices that plagued, the game's earlier monetization system. I mean, I think there's still always going to be a stigmatization with loot boxes, but if they can find a balance, and people, people begged for it. The player base begged for loot boxes. It's back. I don't think anyone cares what predatory practices are going to be in that system to begin with, because players, I'm sure they've grown tired of paying $20, $30 for hero skins. I know I did. So do share your thoughts and opinion. Transformative change for Overwatch 2. Could this really help save this iconic franchise? Could it retain the player base, bring back those who have left? Could it help revitalize its relevancy in the gaming community, in the gaming culture? Many questions that are yet to be answered, and all we can really do is wait and see. The state of Overwatch 2 is uncertain, but it is exciting once again. So let's find out. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with a lot more news from the world of entertainment. So stay locked and stay tuned. You know it, to the Evening Buzz.